Okay, if you're scared about getting into cryptocurrency or you're thinking to yourself, you need more time to do research, I'm here to tell you stop. Let's talk about it for a minute and let's see if we can change your mind about crypto and get you involved sooner than later. Now, this isn't financial advice and this really is just a conversation with a camera actually, but to maybe have a little bit of a simpler conversation about cryptocurrencies, as I find that that's one of the easiest ways to talk to my friends and peers about the space, and not necessarily put it too formal, make it too much of an educational section and get too deep and get too caught up in the weeds. Let's just have a little bit of a conversation about it, as if you were asking me questions and I was trying to explain it to you. I think that's gonna be easier. Plus, I don't really wanna edit this and I'm gonna do it in one take, so this is the way we're gonna do it. Now, a lot of conversations happen, and this is where this comes, a lot of my conversations that happen end in people saying I want to do more research. And that's the biggest one, is generally I want to do more research. I want to put a lot more time into it. And unfortunately, I have to look at it and be a little skeptical because most of the time people don't have time to put into this extra thing, even though it will potentially make them money. Really, when are you going to do that? You know, ultimately you need to dedicate quite a bit of time to understand something as complicated and in-depth as cryptocurrency. Now, don't get me wrong, you should be doing your research and you should be spending some time on it if you want to put some money into it, anything you want to put money into. But the first parallel I will always draw to is how often do you actually look at your 401k now? Do you look at an IRA? Do you look at how to get in stocks? Are you one of those people who's been trying to invest forever but hasn't because they haven't had the time to research any of it? So how is this any different? It probably isn't. Even though there is a higher risk associated with it, I would still say that that risk is somewhat squashed if you were to just consider the fact like you would any other investment opportunity, in that there are a number of players playing in that game and that there's a potential that it's not that bad if done in a very reasonable manner. Now, what is a reasonable manner? Well, you do have to do some research. Now, obviously I'm not trying to diminish the value of actually looking into something and understanding it. But what I'll say about it is that you don't probably have to go to the level you think you do, right? So for example, I may want to invest in Microsoft. It doesn't mean I know every day to day about their operations, how the company operates, even really much about, fundamentally what their market cap is or who's running the company at this time. I just know that they make products that I know people want to buy, and I'm pretty bullish on a company that makes products that people want to buy. They've been around for a while, that's enough. Stamp A-OK. If I bought Microsoft, I wouldn't be that disappointed. Let's look at Tesla, which everyone's bullish on. Why do you like Tesla? It's an electric car. You probably like it. It goes fast. You want one yourself. Is that a good enough reason to invest in something? Most investors would tell you not, but I would tell you as just a normal consumer, probably, because you're on the ground level. You're looking at what things actually are doing and how you feel about it. That's one of the easiest ways to kind of interpret what you want to get involved with. So really, when it comes to the research and sitting there thinking about how deep you need to go, I would definitely agree you should do some research. But I would say look at the research you want to do in a more casual manner and try and look at it as a more use case and understanding of what it is trying to fix and provide as a technological standpoint. This is crypto we're talking about now. And if you like what it's trying to do and where it is, there's already enough noise and enough people involved with it to probably be a sign that it's gonna be doing something. It's already disrupted enough broadcasting areas to where you've heard about it actually making it still around. What I'm getting at is it's still around and it's still making headway in the direction it's purporting to. Okay, so if you start to look at it, would it be that you agree with what it's trying to do? If that's what you agree with, then it's probably something that's I would say I'm involved. I like crypto. I think getting into crypto is great. I do understand more of the technology, which is a nice layer, and it is something I had time to do on more in the background. Did I jump into crypto before I knew most about it? Yes, I did, because I thought it was just a bunch of fun and I was essentially gambling. I actually got in building so I could mine it. I actually was mining it. And once I mined some and sold some, that was the real ticker for me that it was real, when the actual money entered my bank account and I made some. That is where I usually will lead people to next after their huge conundrum about doing the research. Can you just put some money into it? I would think if we could establish the fact that there's probably enough people involved that you could think that it's not a scam at this point, right? It's got a long enough track record to have existed. There's plenty of people who have turned into millionaires from it. It's not 100% a scam. So if it's not a scam, and it's clearly something above board and that you could get your money back if you played it right, what would you think that most of these people have made their money from? Bitcoin or some random altcoin over here? I'd say Bitcoin. I'd say brand names. I'd say something you know about. So start with that one. Why are you getting too involved with all the other stuff? Know what you know. Play what you know and invest in what you know. You know Bitcoin. You've heard it on the news. You've heard it on the radio. You've heard people talking about it. Maybe Ethereum. This is probably another one. You've maybe heard of it. You maybe, people talking about it. So stick with those two. And just even the slightest bit of research, 10 minutes, go look on the computer, type it in, chart, its history chart, and look at its price action. Has it been going up over time? Yes. Put a small amount of money in there, something that's negligible to you that you can afford. If it's $100, it's $100. If it's 1,000, sure. If it's 10K, then make it 10K. But I would say use a little bit of capital to play in the space and kind of get used to it. And what this will do is this will really open up your eyes to how the interchange, the actual exchange happens, how you actually get involved and what this looks like. And you'll actually end up finding out that it's very similar to just buying stocks in a company. It's actually really no different. You have to sign up a brokerage account. Real quick and easy one, a tip would be Coinbase. That's got more higher fees, but I would always point people who are new to this towards Coinbase. I'll probably end up making a quick video on making an account there. I've got a few pro tips on using that. But you make it a brokerage account, just like you would buying stocks or setting up a 401k, and you put money in, and then that money is allocated to what you want it to. You pick the stock, and then you have it. And once you do that, and that exchange, like I did when I took my Litecoin and I mined some and then I sold it, even though it was very little money, it still was proof. It puts the reality into my hands and goes, okay, cool, this is real, this is tangible, and you can do it with higher sums. So it's not that I'm saying forgo research or forgo knowing more about it. That will come. That's gonna be inevitable because this technology is, I don't want to be some like Rasputin here, but it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. It's already got forms of it that are actively being used. So it's gonna happen. So I would say just get involved in a small way that you don't mind losing. And if that's $10, it's $10, but at least you saw the transaction happen, you experienced it, and perhaps even realized how reasonable it actually is. So again, I'm not trying to discount any of the research, but I'm saying that will come. All the understanding of it will come in time. What's really important now is that you understand how to get in, how to get out, how to actually play it as a vehicle for investment, because that's really what you care about, is the investment opportunity. You don't really care about cryptocurrencies. Just like in the dot-com era, you didn't care how Yahoo worked or Google, and you still don't. But if you were going to invest in the company, you'd care what the price is doing, you'd care what the numbers are doing. And to be honest, I would say that's probably a bigger concern for most of you, is what the price action is going to do. And that doesn't always correlate to the actual use case of the technology, or in stocks cases, the company. Sometimes it's just at the whim of investors, people buying stocks as they will. And that's a whole other game. So when it comes to an investment standpoint and actually getting involved in it, that's really what we get down to, is that you're looking at this as an investment vehicle to make some money. Why are you looking at this? Because a lot of people are making a lot of money in it. They're making it relatively easily. And did I say they're making a lot of money in it? We're talking a lot of money. Relative to what you can currently in the stock market, make it look like child's play. So these are some interesting reasons why you want to not let it be left to seconds, because you're going to. Life, friends, family, everything's gonna happen, and the time for research is probably not gonna show up. A small pro tip that I like to do is I like to do the research in the morning before work. If you can swing that, if you're an early riser, then do it. If you're not, do it in bed when you're going to sleep. But find time to watch a YouTube video a day is really going to help you in your understanding of it. But if you want to make money in it, at least in the short term, you need to get involved sooner than later. If you want to make money in the long term, you need to get involved sooner than later. And that's really where I would ultimately draw my case and come to the point is that you're not so interested in what it actually is. I'm telling you there's enough people involved in it. It is a thing that exists. Plenty of people are making plenty of money in it. And I would say a lot of the first people who made a lot of money in it didn't know much about it either. They just thought it would be cool to own a thing called a Bitcoin in like 2010. They just thought that was fun. Give me 100 of them, they said. And they made an absolute crap ton of money. So that person really wasn't thinking at all about the research. They were just like, give me the Bitcoin. So I don't know if this was at all helpful. It's a very conversational style, and I really just wanted to have a conversation. I don't want to do takes and a video and edit it at all. I just wanted to have a conversation because I do enjoy conversations with people. My friends tell me that I'm just like a weed whacker, like a little weed whacker that's going then. Once you say crypto, it's like I'm off. So I figured this would be the easiest way I could go. Hopefully I didn't lose you along the way. I do have a habit of doing that, but yeah, I would say take the advice for what it is. It's not financial advice. It's just a conversation and an opinion. If you ask anybody, invest wisely and don't be stupid with your money. Yeah, don't be stupid with your money. But at the same time, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet.